The Shadow in the Woods. Novel for elementary learners. Level 2. It was a hot summer day, and Jake and his friends were hanging out at the local park. They loved exploring the woods behind the park, but they had always stayed close to the trail. Today, they decided to go deeper into the woods. As they walked, they saw a man standing in the distance. He was wearing dark clothes and looked strange. "Do you think he's lost?" Sarah asked. "I don't know, but I don't trust him," Jake said, his voice low. The man didn't move, and the group quickly decided to head back home. That night, Jake couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the man in the woods. Was he following them? Jake decided to sneak out of his house to find out. He grabbed his flashlight and went into the woods alone. As he walked deeper, he heard strange noises behind him. It sounded like footsteps, but when he turned around, no one was there. His heart raced. Was someone really out there? Jake tried to stay calm, but the noise grew louder and closer. Suddenly, Jake heard someone whispering his name. Jake. He turned quickly, but no one was there. Panic set in as he started running. The footsteps behind him were now louder, faster. Someone was definitely chasing him. He could feel the cold breath on his neck. Jake pushed himself harder, but the person was always right behind him. He ran until he couldn't breathe. Finally, he reached a clearing and saw the park in the distance. He collapsed, gasping for air, but when he looked back, no one was there. The next morning, Jake told his friends about what happened. They didn't believe him at first, but they agreed to go into the woods together to look for clues. As they walked, they found something strange on a tree. There was a note. It said, "I'm watching you." Jake felt chills run down his spine. They quickly left the woods, but Jake couldn't stop thinking about the message. Who was watching him, and why? A few days later, Sarah went missing. No one knew where she had gone. Jake and the others searched everywhere, but they couldn't find her. Jake started to feel like he was in a nightmare. What if the man in the woods had taken her? As the days passed, the fear grew. Jake knew he had to find Sarah before it was too late. But who could he trust? The mystery deepened, and no one seemed to have answers. Jake decided to go back to the woods alone. He was determined to find Sarah. As he walked through the trees, he noticed something strange near the old cabin in the woods. There was a trail of footprints leading inside. Jake followed the footprints carefully, his heart pounding. When he entered the cabin, he found a small room with old, dusty furniture. In the corner of the room, there was a box. Inside the box, Jake found a picture of Sarah and a note that said, "You're next." Jake rushed back to his friends and told them everything. They gathered their courage and went to the cabin together. When they arrived, the door creaked open by itself. Inside, they found the man from the woods. He was standing in the shadows, smiling. "You're too late," he said, before disappearing into the darkness. The friends ran after him, but they could never find him again. Sarah was never found, and the man was never seen again. But Jake couldn't shake the feeling that he was still being watched. Thank you for this scary story. Join us next time for the next short story